Hey folks, my name's Noah Lynch, and you're listening to the Slawcast.
Down in Arkansas, they serve you coleslaw, chopped up finer than a bale of straw. When you crunch and gnaw, a bunch of coleslaw keeps you chewing like a crosscut.
Welcome to the Slawcast with your host Noah Lynch. I'm Noah Lynch. I'm the two-time Pulitzer Prize winner of the category Side Dish Nonfiction, four-time Coleslaw Reviewer of the Year by Time Magazine, 30 Under 30 Coleslaw Media Luminary, and the host of the #1 Coleslaw Advice podcast on the internet. I want to thank y'all for all the feedback we've been getting after episode 4. It's been absolutely insane. The Slawcast is really turning into something amazing. I just did want to give everybody an update after episode 4. I know y'all have been wondering. Corey did, in fact, have that first date, and he did follow my rules. And it went really well. I think they're going to go on a second date, so that's all good. We're going to do something a little special this episode. We're going to take 2 callers today. Our first caller's on the line. Hey, caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is AJ Peterson from Bozeman, Montana.
All right, AJ Peterson from Bozeman, Montana. What's your question, son?
What is the #1 mistake people make when making their coleslaw?
You know, AJ, I'm glad you asked this question because there's a lot of mistakes people make in coleslaw, you know, and I don't want to get too negative here, but we got to cover it. It's something we're going to have to do eventually, so I'm glad you asked this. Now, you know, one of the biggest mistakes I see in the coleslaw world, you know, and I eat a lot of slaw. Don't get me wrong, you know, I like most of the slaw, but every once in a while you come across this, you know, hippy dippy, fancy dancy restaurant. You'll get in there and they're promising way too much to you, you know, like coleslaw is coleslaw for a reason, and it's been around for years and years, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel, okay? That's what these people don't understand is they go in and they think they can add all kinds of, you know, beans and corn and, you know, like all kinds of different vegetables, and they forget the big two, man. It's cabbage and carrots, you know? You need to master the basics before you move on to advanced stuff. You know, you don't see me going on the basketball court and dunking from the free throw line because I'm not Michael Jordan. You know what and I know that. So I'm not going to attempt that. I'm going to stay and I'm going to shoot my free throws and try and improve. You know, once I master that, then I'll move on to something a little more complicated. But these millennials, they come in, they start their restaurant, they think they can do whatever they want with coleslaw. And let me tell you something right now, directly to you, AJ, they can't. You know, so here's the main problem. The #1 problem I see is, you know, just master the basics. Just start with a simple cabbage and carrots. Measure them out to the correct length. Shred them. Get your moisture correct. Go creamy. Don't go vinegar based. And you know what? You'll do fine. That's my tip. And that's the main problem I see in the coleslaw world today is people want to go fancier. It's 2018 and all this, but you know what? Some things are best left alone, if you know what I mean. I want to thank you, AJ, for asking this question and letting me expand on ideas that I had said previously. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next caller. Caller number 2, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Randall Smith from Sedona, Arizona.
All right, Randall Smith from Sedona, Arizona. What's your question, Chief?
Do you think coleslaw should be used as a topping on sandwiches?
You know, Randall, I think you unknowingly did this. However, you brought up one of the biggest controversies in the coleslaw world, really. And I didn't think we'd end up covering it this early into the show, but, you know, I guess it's as good as time as ever. So I'm going to take a little flack from this one, from the industry. But, you know, oftentimes the question comes up, is coleslaw a side dish or is it a part to be used on a sandwich? Is it equal to a condiment, you know, mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, tomato, lettuce? Is it to be used in a sandwich? And my main opinion on this, and remember this too, Randall, it is an opinion. I mean, I am an expert in the field, but it's up to you really at the end of the day, Randall. Now, I see it both ways. I think coleslaw was originally meant to be a side dish. And even in some places, in some countries, the main course, the entree, if you will. In my opinion, coleslaw started out as a side dish, and that's the way I'll consume it for the rest of my life, you know. I always enjoy having a bowl of slaw on the side of any meal I'm eating. But and this may seem contrary to my previous answer to the question earlier in the show, but I think you can go places with it being added onto a sandwich too. I think sometimes you're just skipping the middleman, if you know what I mean. If I'm going to a barbecue joint and I'm going to enjoy a pulled pork sandwich, and you're telling me I can enjoy a pulled pork sandwich and at the same time have the coleslaw, 2 for 1, two birds with one stone, if you will, I think that can be a good thing, and many people will say, well, that's contrary to your other beliefs. I don't see it that way, because here's the thing is, as long as you're enjoying slaw in one way or the other, I'm happy. And I think you should be happy too. Coleslaw is a great thing, and I think we all need to enjoy it, whether that be on a side or whether that be an entree or whether that be on a sandwich. Now, as far as suggestions go, if you are going to enjoy it on a sandwich, like I said, pulled pork's a good place to start, And I know some of y'all listening out there are big fans of slaw already, and you're listening to this to get some more ideas and be a little more adventurous in your coleslaw life. My suggestion to you is, once again, call ahead to these barbecue restaurants. A lot of people don't know you can even do that. You know what I mean? Like, I've never gone to a barbecue restaurant without calling ahead first. And that's my main advice here is ask them if they'll do it. Will they put the slaw directly on the sandwich, or are you going to have to do it yourself? Because if you're doing it yourself, then the sandwich was not made with coleslaw in mind, and that's a bigger mistake than even putting it on there in the first place. I do want to thank you so much for asking that question, Randall. That was a really good one, and this episode has actually turned out to be pretty good. I think we covered a lot. We got 2 questions done instead of just one. Now, to close out the show, I did want to just say, I'm sure y'all are aware of the TMZ article that came out, and I think I should address some of the allegations that were brought up. One of the first one being, my callers are fake, and it's the same person doing it every time. And what I'll say to that is, look, if it's the same guy every time, then why is it a different name? Lord in heaven, I thought y'all would be a little smarter than that. And I'm not speaking directly to my fans. I am speaking to the critics, though. I preach about truthfulness, honesty, and transparency. And those are my 3 main keys to success. And that's what I want to do here. If my callers were fake, then this show would be nothing better than anything else that's been started in the coleslaw industry up to this date. Let me tell you something. The Slawcast is special. It is magic. And you know what? Our callers are real, okay? And now the next thing that was brought up in the article, and I will say this article was pretty poorly written as well. I think I could have done better, and I dropped out at 7th grade. So the next thing brought up, and it's even worse, is a lot of people were saying that I might not even be from Tennessee. I don't even know how that rumor got started. Okay, listen, I don't live in Tennessee right now. That might be true. However, I'm from Tennessee. Can't you hear it in my voice? Like, I shouldn't have to explain that to you. It's my personal life, but I'm from Tennessee. I promise you that, folks. And I know the true fans believe me, and I know you all are going to be behind me for every step of this journey. It's just, the mainstream media wants to take down the Slawcast because they see it as a threat, I'm taking viewers from all the Food Network shows. I'm taking viewers from the Discovery shows, from the History Channel shows. TLC wants to buy the Slawcast for umpteen $1 million. I'm a threat to the mainstream media just as much as I am the coleslaw world. And I think you're starting to see that. We're starting to pick up traction. We got a lot more listeners than we did on episode 1, and people are starting to get scared. So I just ask that all you true fans stick with me, and we'll get through this together. Slawcast is only getting bigger and better as it goes on, and I don't mean to be negative. I'm not going to keep ranting on, but just stick with me and trust in the process. I'm an honest man, and I would never do anything dishonest to you guys. I love you like my own family, okay? So, that's going to be it for this episode. I'm Noah Lynch. This is the Slawcast. Until next time, I'll slaw you later.
No bread, no meat, no potatoes, and nothing that's sweet. All I want is a lot of coleslaw.